It's time for my all-time favorite SCP creatures. These are 10 of the most scariest, terrifying, and downright disturbing creatures of the Foundation. These creatures are currently in containment in secret locations away from civilization. If released, they would cause massive panic and destruction. These are the 10 most dangerous SCP creatures. SCP-017. Object Class: Keter, also known as the Shadow Person. SCP-017 is a humanoid figure, approximately 80 centimeters in height, anatomically similar to a small child, but with no discernible identifying features. 017 seems composed of a shadow, smoky-like shroud. No attempt to find any object beneath the shroud has been successful, but the possibility has not been ruled out. 017 generally remains stationary and does nothing to actively harm anyone until a shadow is cast upon it. 017's reaction to the shadow cast upon it is immediate and swift. 017 leaps at the object, casting the shadow and completely enclosing it in its shroud, whereupon it returns to a normal size, leaving no trace of the object behind as it was never there to begin with. 017 is contained in an acrylic glass cage, centrally suspended in a concrete room. SCP-023. Object Class: Euclid, also known as the Black Shuck. SCP-023 is a large, sexless, shaggy canine, standing at a height of almost 5 feet, with black fur. It has bright orange-red eyes and prominent teeth. Anytime an individual makes eye contact with 023, either that person or a member of their immediate family will die in exactly 1 year after eye contact is broken. 023 is currently contained in a walled-off intersection of 2 corridors with at least 3 meters of space in each direction, and false doors at 3 of the 4 ends, in addition to a real door. SCP-053. Object Class: Euclid, also known as the Young Girl. SCP-053 appears to be a small 3-year-old girl. She is capable of basic speech and appears to be slightly above average in mental development. She has a generally pleasant personality and rarely seems upset, becoming agitated only in the presence of groups of people. Any and all humans over the age of 3 who make eye contact with, physically touch, or remain around 053 for longer than 10 minutes will rapidly become irrational, paranoid, and homicidal. Most, if not all, of these feelings will be directed at 053. Those attempting to kill 053 will suffer massive heart attacks or seizures and die seconds after doing any physical damage to 053. 053 will regenerate almost instantaneously from any wound, regardless of severity. 053 is to be contained in an area no less than 16 by 16 feet and given adequate room to move. Toys, books, games, and other recreational devices are to be amply provided and rotated every 3 months. SCP-080. Object Class: Euclid, also known as the Dark Form. It is unknown if 080 has a physical mass or body, as all attempts to interact with it physically have failed and have been met with adverse effects. Researchers and personnel have described seeing 080 as various shadows and humanoid figures, with the only 2 common attributes being 2 smoking eyes. It has come to the attention of researchers that 080 induces uncontrollable drowsiness upon anyone entering its chamber. After approximately 30 minutes, any person observing it will be forced into REM sleep and may suffer irreversible psychological damage. 080 is to be contained in a 4 meter by 4 meter room with a small antechamber located on the south wall to provide researchers with access. On the north wall, an observation room is to be connected, overlooking the main room through a window with thick blacked out curtains that release only when the door to the observation room is closed. No attempt should be made to remove 080 from the enclosure at any time. SCP-116, Object Class Euclid, also known as the Brittle Boy. SCP-116 has the outward appearance of a Caucasian male of around 9 years of age. Skin is cauterized and scarred over 98% of body, limbs, and head. 116 bone structure is drastically different than standard human bone layout, and all bones are dangerously brittle. The most distinguishing difference between the human body and that of 116 is the non-existence of joints. 116 is entirely capable of independent movement, but to do so would cause multiple shattering breaks to all bones affected by said movement. 116 has shown some language skills since acquisition. However, the only language it speaks is a disrupted and broken version of English, in which every word has been replaced with an almost entirely unconnected one. Prolonged attempts to make sense of 116's speech have resulted in some long-term mental degradation in researchers. There seems to be no pattern to the word replacement, and attempts continue to translate it. Researchers suggest that 116 may be capable of low-level telepathy, which deteriorates the victim's brain functions over a long period of time. 116 is kept in a 16 by 16 meter cell, constructed of Kevlar, with 1 meter porous rubber padding on all surfaces. No personnel are to enter cell without proper briefing and threat reduction measures. SCP-122, Object Class Keter, also known as the Lucid Nightlight. SCP-122 is a children's nightlight in the design of a stylized shooting star. When in an unpowered state, 122 will affect all subjects within a 500 meter radius of its location. When the subjects enter REM sleep, they will move into a comatose state, in which they will remain until 122 is resupplied with power. While comatose, humanoid figures appearing to be composed of black, slightly translucent mass will appear from any shadows around the subject. 122 is to be stored in a standard containment chamber, containing a single electric outlet. No personnel dormitories are to be constructed within 500 meters of the containment area. At no time should 122 enter an unpowered state. SCP-239, Object Class Keter, also known as the Witch Child. SCP-239 appears to be an 8-year-old girl. Upon closer inspection, the subject's eyes shimmer a gray-green shade. Subject seems to emit a previously undiscovered form of radiation. These waves seem to be harmless in low concentrations, but in high concentrations they could break down matter on a subatomic level. 239 seemingly has the ability to do whatever she expresses a will to do, but simply, the subject can do anything that she truly wants to on a basal psychological level, as long as she is conscious. Fortunately, she only seems to be able to affect herself and her immediate surroundings. Therefore, if she can see it, she can change it. To try to test how powerful she can be, she seems to be able to create and affect living matter. For example, when a D-class personnel accidentally caused her harm, she simply wished him away. Fortunately, when the subject was made to feel guilty for what he had done, she wished him back. 239 is to be kept within a 1-room cell furnished with 1 bed, 1 EKG machine, and 1 IV to be filled with a sedative mix which needs to be refilled daily. SCP-279, Object Class Euclid, also known as the Meandering Man. SCP-279 appears to be a man in his early 40s. 279 does not respond to any form of external stimuli. and has not been observed to deviate from a standard neutral expression. 279 has been reported to spontaneously disappear and reappear, presenting unusual difficulties to agents required to monitor it. 279 seemingly spends the majority of its time traveling. Attempts to eliminate 279 have failed. 279 continues whatever it is in the process of doing regardless of any injury it has sustained. Containment or restraint is impossible as 279 possesses an inordinate amount of strength when physically restrained and has utilized its ability to spontaneously reappear in a different location when indirectly restrained. 279 has been observed standing in unusual areas for up to several days at a time, looking into windows of occupied rooms, walking in a circle roughly 2 meters in diameter for hours. Care must be taken to avoid direct skin contact with 279. When such contact is made, the person in question will vanish along with 279 at the usual time of disappearance. SCP-280, Object Class Keter, also known as Eyes in the Dark. SCP-280 is a black human-shaped mass with 2 large white eyes on the head and 2 hands with very long and thin fingers. No feet or legs are visible, as the lower portion of the body appears to fade away several centimeters from the ground. 280 appears to be wholly composed of matter that can gain or lose form. This matter is very black, with only the eyes showing any other color, and when changed into a non-corporeal form, looks like smoke. 280 will move slowly towards any human beings and attempt to attack them. 280 appears to sense human life. No limit has yet been found on this ability. 280 will approach to within 14 centimeters of the subject, and then use its hands to pull and tear at the subject, causing massive physical trauma. The attack can last between 1 and 5 minutes, and will continue until the death of the subject, at which 280 will expose its eyes, losing form, and move to the next human. 280 is to be contained in a 5 by 5 meter cell, and no equipment of any kind is to be left inside when the staff are not present. Containment area is to be kept in total darkness at all times. SCP-303, Object Class Euclid, also known as the Doorman. Witnesses describe SCP-303 as a nude, sexless, emaciated humanoid figure with reddish-brown skin. Instead of normal facial features, its head is dominated by an extremely large mouth, which bears a set of oversized human teeth. It continually vocalizes a wheezy noise, loud enough to be heard from the other side of most solid doors. 303 will periodically materialize behind any closed door, hatch, or any other entryway barrier. 303 will then remain behind the door for an indeterminate amount of time, and the individual attempting to open the door or the barrier experiences intense, paralyzing fear that lasts until 303 dematerializes. As 303 has not yet been known to travel beyond the boundaries of Site-17, the entire area of Site-17 is currently considered 303's containment area.